What's going on, everybody? I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. So guys, I believe in last week's live stream I mentioned I've been wearing my Oris Big Crown Pro Pilot a lot, like 7 days straight a lot. And normally I'd bring you a 5 things I learned about video. That's kind of the theme here on this channel lately. I've been wearing a watch for a week straight, and then I've been telling you guys the 5 things I've learned about whichever watch I wore. But after mentioning this watch on the live stream and after posting a picture of it on Instagram, I was absolutely inundated with questions about Oris, like as a company. People were asking me if Orises were any good, and that's kind of a weird question because if I have one in my collection, obviously I think pretty highly of them. People were asking me if I could recommend an Oris. People were asking me which Oris was my favorite, and bottom line, it became painfully aware that even among other watch enthusiasts, Oris is kind of underrated. Here's 5 reasons why. It's 3:15 p.m. Let's get down to business. Alright, the first reason Oris is terribly underrated is they have an incredibly diverse catalog. Guys, Oris is not afraid to try things, okay? This is not a company like Tudor who only releases one kind of watch over and over and over again. No. These guys got a lot of different things for you. You're getting sports watches like the Aquis, you're getting pilot's watches like the Big Crown Pro Pilot, you're getting heritage, kind of vintage inspired pieces like the Diver 65 and the Pilot Pointer Date. And you're getting beautiful dress watches with the Artelier series. Bottom line, Oris has a very diverse offering, but they're not skimping out on quality. Which brings us to the next reason Oris is terribly underrated. Oris is incredibly consistent across the board. You just know what you're getting with an Oris. You're getting a tough, reliable Swiss-made watch. And like I said earlier, even though Oris isn't afraid to kind of take chances and try new things with more modern designs, they've actually also carried over a lot of their more vintage pieces. I mean, just have a look for yourself. Here's one of their older pieces, and here's one of the pieces from modern day. They both look really good, which actually segues perfectly to the next reason I think Oris is terribly underrated. Oris has a huge attention to detail. For instance, my Big Crown Pro Pilot, an incredibly simple watch, right? There's not a whole lot going on, but do you know why most companies don't offer truly simple watches? Do you know why most companies muck up their dials with a bunch of bells and whistles and a bunch of things that don't need to be there? I mean, this watch is so simple, nothing's gonna get lost on the dial, which means you need to execute upon it perfectly, and Oris did just that. I absolutely love this watch. Very clean, very easy to read, very detail oriented. Again, Oris doesn't have the busiest watches out there, but when you get one in person, it becomes incredibly apparent that they have some of the most detailed watches out there, I promise. And the fourth reason I think Oris is terribly underrated is that they put a premium on functionality, okay? This is my favorite part about Oris. Oris makes watches for people who wear watches. They make you a watch, they don't expect you to baby it, okay? My Oris Big Crown Pro Pilot, this has been dropped from like chest height 3 times onto hardwood floor. Why did that happen? Well, my cat Link found out that he could jump onto the dresser and he decided to start pushing things off, and yeah, I'm not putting my watches on the dresser anymore. Anyway, the watch runs fine, it keeps perfect time, there's barely even a scratch on it, if there is even a scratch on it. It's just an amazingly tough watch. And again, when you look through Oris's catalog, their watches don't have a ton of bells and whistles, but they're incredibly functional, they're incredibly reliable, and they're just tough and usable. And just based upon personal experience, Oris watches are cat-proof. And the 5th and final reason Oris is terribly underrated as a watch company is that they're relatively affordable. Guys, most Orises sit around the $1,000 mark. I got this watch for like 850 bucks, brand new, and yeah, almost all of their catalog is well under $2,000. So guys, you're gonna get an incredibly impressive watch, a really nice Swiss-made watch, and you won't break the bank. So to answer all the questions I get, okay, a ton of people wrote to me, hey, I've saved up some money, I want my first really impressive Swiss watch, I want it to be fairly affordable, I want to spend some money, but I don't want to go broke. It's hard not to recommend Oris. And there you have it, 5 reasons Oris is terribly underrated. I hope this video helped you guys out. I know a bunch of you were writing to me asking me how I felt about Oris. Obviously, I love them. This is one of my favorite everyday watches to wear. Incredibly tough, simple, easy to read, and I can rely on it. And again, my cat couldn't break it, although he is trying. But as always, I want to hear from you. What's your experience with Oris? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do you have one? Leave me a comment in the comment section. Let's continue the conversation there. And guys, kind of a shameless plug here. here, I have a ton of Orises at the Time Teller shop, so click the link in the description below, shop around, you help me out a ton, you keep me here on YouTube, and I'll love you for it. And if you're new here, if this is your first time joining us here at the Time Teller channel, I want to say thank you so much for stopping by, but let's make this a little bit more official. Go ahead, click that subscribe button, it takes 1 second, it helps me out a ton, and while you're at it, go ahead and click that little bell icon so you do not miss an episode of the Time Teller. YouTube does a terrible job notifying my subscribers when I upload, so you don't want to miss out, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this with other watch enthusiasts, other people that you think would enjoy this. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time, I just tell it. Alright, well, if you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing to the channel because there's a whole lot more where that came from. Also, I have no idea how YouTube works yet. Hopefully in the future I'll get the hang of it, but I think there should be some recommended videos for you to watch. There might be one over on this side of the screen, there might be one over on this side of the screen. Who knows where they're gonna be? YouTube's always changing, life is always changing. You know, there's a lot to learn about life. We'll save this for another episode. Anyway, click one of these videos, watch it, subscribe to the channel. I love you.